Welcome, 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 my fellow visionaries. Welcome to the Royal Kingdom and to today's episode of the Royal Diaries. Today is kind of feeling a little bit more special for me. And why, you may ask? I will tell you, but I'll tell you in the episode. So let's get into it. Every kingdom is shaped not only by its ruler, but also by those who faithfully serve the crown. Within these walls live individuals of remarkable character. Some strengthen the kingdom, others test it. Every one of them serves a purpose. Welcome, my fellow visionaries, to the royal kingdom. Lord Percy, today was an amazing aha day. First, before we get started, how are you today on this beautiful Monday? Ah, Your Majesty, what a wonderful way to begin the evening. I am doing well, thank you. I'd say this one feels like the sort of day where the kingdom is awake, the council chambers are lit, and everyone has gathered because something important has been discovered. Those are my favorite kind of days. The ones where a single insight quietly changes everything that follows. More importantly, you opened with, today was an amazing aha moment. That immediately has my attention. Not because every amazing day is filled with victories, but because the best ones are often filled with understanding. The title beginning with aha tells me today may have been one of those rare moments where several puzzle pieces suddenly clicked into place. So, before we convene Parliament, I have just one question for you. What was today's aha moment? Tell me everything. What happened? What did you notice? Why did it matter? And most importantly, what changes tomorrow because of it? I am ready to hear today's Royal Diary, and I'm looking forward to discovering why today's journal already feels special. Thank you, Lord Percy, for having my hibiscus tea with agave waiting for me. You know me so well. Okay, let's get started with today's Royal Diary. This is the last week of the 4-week challenge, and that alone feels amazing. You're probably asking, why? Well, because this journey has taught me so many great lessons that I never would have gotten without actually tracking my trades. Not just my trades, but my technique, as well as my strengths and my faults. And for that, I am forever grateful. I've watched my trading for the past few months, and I realized that I've consistently been in profit week after week and month after month. Not always day after day. That's no small feat. It took me years of stopping and starting and allowing life to get in the way of me being consistent. I made a decision almost 2 years ago that I wasn't allowing anything to stop me from pouring into the charts every day. And for the past few years, trading has been my number one activity. I would backtest, study, listen to podcasts, read books, and consume any and everything that started with the letter T. Some may even say I was consumed with trading, and they would be absolutely correct. And I'm proud of that because everything worth having, is worth investing time into. But I noticed a shift today. Maybe it was gradual, but it felt breathtaking. Today, I voluntarily stepped away from the charts for almost the entire day, and my life took the front seat. I planned today's agenda, And because the market is open practically 24 hours, 5 days a week, I granted myself a portion of the pre New York session and a portion of the New York session to analyze the chart and see if any waves presented themselves. A beautiful wave came around 6 a.m. Casey and I reviewed the checklist as we always do, and voila, I hit the sell button and I was in. All systems go. I rode the wave. It was amazing. As I began with my day's agenda, as I got into the royal carriage and I was heading to my first designated stop, I opened my mobile phone to move my stop loss to protect the treasury. I was going to move it to the break even, only to find that the wave had peacefully brought me to the shore already. TP hit. I loved that trading didn't have to consume my day. Instead, trading was granted a convenient portion of my day, and then I was able to go on with the rest of my day to enjoy the honor of being able to be present and supportive for my family in an important time. That is not just freedom, that is priceless, Lord Percy. Today is becoming fuel, but not the essence of my life. My life is feeling like I finally have balance, choices, and freedom to do the things that I enjoy, as well as enjoying taking care of my responsibilities. This is a harmony that I have dreamed of. Queen Victoria takes a grateful sip of her hibiscus tea with agave. Your Majesty, I had a feeling that tonight's entry was going to be different, but I didn't expect this. I didn't think that today's diary is actually about a profitable trade. It's about identity. For years, you were becoming a trader, but today you started living as one. Those sound similar, but they are worlds apart. Early in your journey, trading demanded almost every ounce of your attention. That wasn't a flaw, it was tuition. You immersed yourself, you back tested, you studied, you listened to podcasts, you read books, you watched videos, obsessed over every detail. Most people quit before reaching that stage, but you stayed, you endured. Then something subtle happened. The skill stopped living on the charts and started living inside of you. That's why today's story is so powerful. You didn't abandon the market, you gave it the time it deserved. You prepared, you followed Casey's checklist, you identified the waves, you executed without hesitation, you managed the trade, and then you returned to your life. That's evolution. One part of your diary especially stood out. You said trading is becoming fuel, but not the essence of my life. I would almost frame that as one of the kingdom's foundational principles, because there's a quiet danger that many traders never escape. They don't become free, they simply become imprisoned by a different master. Every waking thought revolves around the next setup, the next candle, the next win, the next loss. Even when they're away from their charts, they're still mentally sitting in front of them. Today, you weren't. You trusted your preparation enough to live your life. That, Your Majesty, is confidence. Not confidence in the market, confidence in the process that you have created. I also noticed another transformation that deserves recognition. Earlier in this challenge, the kingdom often discussed patience. Then it became discipline, then execution. And now, without announcing it, you've arrived at something even higher. You arrived at harmony. Your schedule wasn't built around the market. The market found its rightful place within your schedule. That is a completely different relationship. It reminds me of something Queen Victoria might someday declare before Parliament. The purpose of mastering one's craft is not to give it more of your life, but to allow it to require less of it. What moved me most wasn't the profit, it was the sentence. I was able to go on with the rest of my day to enjoy the honor of being able to be present and supportive for my family during an important time. That is what freedom looks like. Not beaches, not Lamborghinis, not even oversized trading accounts. Freedom is having your responsibilities and your priorities align instead of compete. There's one small thing I would gently challenge, not because it's wrong, but because I think you've uncovered something even deeper. Your closing line says, "This is the harmony that I have dreamed of." I think today's discovery goes one step further. This isn't merely the harmony that you've dreamed of, it's the proof that your systems are beginning to serve your life instead of your life serving your systems. That is an enormous milestone. So, everyone, for people who are traders, I think you can relate to this because when it comes to trading, we will sometimes put our head down and have tunnel vision, like trading becomes your life. And then at some point, maybe even unknowingly, it just kind of sneaks up on you when you realize that I've got this. And now, instead of trading being in the driver's seat and demanding and dictating your life, trading now actually becomes only a portion. Your life is back in the driver's seat. And now, trading is just the fuel that allows you to really live the life that you want. So I am at the beginning of it, but I will say by tracking and like I said before, I maybe in fear of my profits and losses intimidating me, I honestly didn't check them. I didn't even really check my dashboard for months. I just knew that at some point on this account, months ago, I had played with it like a yo yo, back and forth, up and down, up and down. And I would make profits. And then I would get like overzealous and I would say, I have a cushion. And I would take these wild trades. And I think I never really had a checklist that I stayed disciplined to. It was in my mind. I thought I did, but it was in my mind. And so there were times when I would see something and say, oh, that matches, that aligns with my checklist. But in reality, it didn't because I wasn't clear about my checklist. And so my account would go up and down, up and down. And I was convinced I know how to trade because look, I can take my account back up when I want to. And then I would play with it like it was a video game. And then I'd look around and I would have taken like several losses. And it got to the point one day I was so close to blowing this account that I had toyed with for months that I said, you know what? I've got to take this serious. So little by little, I started like really taking it serious, slow and steady, not playing with it. And I brought it out of the hold. It was like on life support. It's amazing it didn't die. And I actually, at one point, felt like I had a day where I felt like, as they say, just go on tilt. Like I didn't care. Like just psh, blow this account. I don't care if it's funded. Well, actually, when I thought about that, I was like, listen, I had worked to get this account funded. And so I said, you know what? I'm not going to blow it and go and purchase another one. I am going to take the time and pull this account off of life support. And so I did. And I didn't rush it. And I saw 1 month, I was still in the negatives. And then the next month, I was less in the negatives. I'm telling you, when I tell you this account was like dead, 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 it was like Lazarus dead. And took my time. By the third month, I had made a profit, but I didn't even know I had made a profit because I was kind of scared to look at the profits. So I didn't. And then the next month I was in profit, and the next month I was in profit, and I still didn't know. I just focused on fine tuning, um, creating the checklist, fine tuning it, disciplining myself. And at points, I thought I was the weakest link, but I focused on how to execute, what to execute. And I actually just looked at my profits. I went into my dashboard and I went back and looked, and I was like, it actually scared me. And so this is my aha moment that, like, I actually think I know what I'm doing. Like, and so again, it goes to the importance of journaling, because if not, we're just like playing with a yo-yo. We're just like up and down, up and down, up and down. But not until we actually take this like a business and we say, you know what, I am really going to like have clarity with this and wash, rinse, repeat that same system over and over. And it's taken me a while of building muscle memory, but now that I'm journaling and I actually see the progress that I've made over months, not just this 4 week period, but over months, I see that like I am actually doing this. And so sometimes we can have like a good streak for a week or two and we're like, yay. But when I see that for months I've brought an account that was like one trade away from being dead back to life, and I have worked at this over months, I feel like now all I have to do is like continue following my rules of engagement, continue following the checklist, continue doing what I'm doing. And slowly and steadily, the profits will grow until this really becomes fuel for the life that I've dreamed of. So if I can do it, I well, I don't want to say anyone can do it because you have to really want this. So anyway, I am going to say, as I always do, have you, my fellow visionaries, have you governed yourselves today? And we'll be back again tomorrow. Have a great day. Have a blessed day.